President's Diary is brought to you by the Media and Communications Unit of the Office of the President. Get your reviews and updates on the President's engagements, policy and priority programs. Subscribe to the State House newsletter, like and follow the State House of the Gambia on Facebook at Presidency Gambia, and follow the Twitter handle at Presidency_GMB. If you are a fan of YouTube, subscribe to the State House of the Gambia YouTube channel and get your updates at your convenience. Get more on the OP website www.op.gov.gm. Get informed, get enlightened, get factual information. The Media and Communications Unit, Office of the President, is your credible source on the presidency.
Hello, I'm Mabinta Koli and you are welcome to the President's Diary, where we take a look at the President's activities in achieving the goals and aspirations of the National Development Plan. Under governance, His Excellency President Adama Barrow chaired the 15th Summit of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. 57 member states of the OIC and beyond were in attendance. Receiving the delegates, the President said he was honored that a long, complex and challenging journey has ended with the Gambia hosting the 15th Summit of the OIC, significant in its history. He thanked member states for their trust and confidence in the Gambia to lead the organization.
It is quite clear that over the years, the Secretariat of the OIC, of the Islamic countries, OIC, is in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the National Secretariat in the Gambia asserted extreme efforts and commitment, huge financial resources, time and energy to ensure the successful hosting of the summit. In this light, we are most thankful to everyone involved in the process for making this dream come true in such a remarkable manner.
Under the chairmanship of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, the 15th OIC Summit was a success. This is a manifestation of the congratulatory messages the President received from various heads of state after the summit. As part of the Presidential Delivery Forum, several ministries briefed President Adama Barrow about their activities and action plan. The Ministry of Finance, Agriculture and Petroleum, MOHAS, MOPSI and Lands took turns to present during different sessions of the Delivery Forum. The meeting avails the opportunity for the President to ask questions, probe into assumptions, and request additional information.
We are here to debrief on the conclusion of the Economic Delivery Forum that was held between the Ministry of Finance and His Excellency the President and the Presidency, to update the Presidency on the activities of the Ministry, the work program, from the macroeconomic aspects to the implementation and execution of the 2023 budget, to the performance of the SOEs, and we also had the update on the donor coordination and project execution and the implementation of donor project, which was not presented, but we were ready to brief the Presidency about it. In a nutshell, the meeting is to brief His Excellency the President on the activities of the ministry in the last 6 months of the year, and to update him on the current affairs on each of the key vital sectors.
This morning, the Ministry of Agriculture was invited by His Excellency and the staff of OP to come and give an explanation as to what we've been doing for the past year and what we intend to do for the next 12 months. In short, the presentation was an audit of our activity and a plan of action for our next 12 months. Currently, we have about 6 active projects that we have reported on. We have about 3 projects that we did not report on because they have not been launched yet, but they are almost in the pipeline, and we hope to launch them in the next month or 2. But yeah, we reported on about 6 active projects, and thank God they were all rated highly by His Excellency and the team. I will start with Roots project, which is the flagship project, and I start with Roots because it is the biggest agricultural project right now. And Roots is focused on so many aspects, but the main thing is they also focus on rice. And this year, I think during the tour, it was evident on the support for the farmers, distribution of rice seeds for free, and also their plowing services. And apart from Roots, we also have Giraffe. Giraffe is also focused on gardening, vegetable gardening, both for youth and women, but they are also into rice and other components. Apart from the Roots and Giraffe, we also have the regional rice value. Regional rice value is the hardware of the rice sector. They provided a lot of power tillers. They've also provided tractors. They've given a lot of support to the National Seed Secretariat to be able to expand and strengthen our seed department. Because for us to leapfrog, we must increase productivity. And productivity can only be achieved if our seed yield move from like 2 tons per hectare to 7-8 tons per hectare. To achieve that, the regional rice value is working with the National Seed Secretariat to get us the highest possible rice seeds.
You will agree with me that development cannot be fast-tracked when there is no peace and justice. Cognizant to the importance of peace, President Barrow called for a national dialogue in February as part of the country's 59th independence anniversary celebration. In June, the National Preparatory Committee presented the report on the first national dialogue to the President. President Adama Barrow chaired the first National Economic Council meeting that took place at State House in Banjul. The meeting availed the opportunity for different government players in the economy to give a status report of their respective sectors, providing evidence and data to bear on many of today's most significant issues and questions in domestic economic policy. The Gambia Revenue Authority, GRA, reported that its collections in both customs and excise and domestic tax improved because of digitalization, with emphasis that no tax has been increased. Instead, it had broadened the tax base to include all those doing business. Still on governance, the Gambia now enjoys one of the best solar radiation conditions, contributing to the vision of His Excellency in achieving universal access to electricity by 2025, a step closer to reality. His Excellency President Adama Barrow commissioned the 53-megawatt solar plant at Jambur, marking a new era of sustainable energy in the Gambia. An estimate of 1,000 schools and 100 health centers in rural Gambia are expected to benefit from reliable energy supply. The President highlighted that the utility scale of the solar PV plant had been designed to significantly reduce the country's reliance on imported fossil fuel for electricity generation.
As this is a utility-scale solar PV plant, we have designed it to significantly reduce the country's reliance on imported fossil fuel for electricity generation. In the same vein, the project is to accelerate the pace towards generating 50% of the nation's power supply from renewable energy sources by 2030. This is our national target, and the message is clear. As a responsible member of the international community, the Gambia is committed to the global energy transition. The planned project clearly demonstrates the country's commitment to reducing the carbon footprints and greening our energy landscape.
Let's now take a look at the President's visit to industrial farms and the inauguration of new classroom buildings. President Barrow's visit to industrial farms aims to elevate industry's profile and reinforce its competitiveness and economic contribution to the nation. A common trend in all the industries is the hiring of women and youth in the production, processing, and packaging of the production lines. As part of the government's drive to improve school infrastructure, President Barrow also graced the inauguration of new story-building classrooms in Numuyel, Koina, and Garawol in the Upper River region, and Badibu Iliyasa in the North Bank region. Well, viewers, this program is brought to you by the Media and Communication Unit, Office of the President. Moving on to agriculture. In his government's endeavor to create a conducive environment for sustainable food security through rice production, President Barrow received a South Korean delegation headed by the CEO of Q Group, Mr. Mohamed Jah. Discussions were centered on strengthening partnership and how to increase rice production in the Gambia, among other issues. In a separate scenario, President Barrow visited Bayaba, where Hamidou Jah has developed 1,200 hectares of land for industrial rice production in Sami, Central River region. Reacting to what he saw, President Barrow said,
I will thank Hamidou for complementing government efforts because he will create jobs here. He will grow the economy, he will pay taxes. So this is huge. I think people should learn from this. As I said, we have no reason to doubt Hamidou. He has already proven himself beyond any reasonable doubt in the Gambia that he is a very serious businessman.
Investing in such a scale will create jobs, grow the economy, and reduce reliance on foreign exchange to import rice. On health, His Excellency President Adama Barrow called for collaboration between the Gambia and key stakeholders in the fight against cancer during an audience with the leader of International Atomic Energy Agency, Mr. Karago, at State House. The team, led by the Honorable Minister for Health, Dr. Lamin Samate, briefed the President on assessing the capacities and needs of improving cancer program infrastructure in the Gambia, which will guide the country to put forward specific priority interventions towards cancer prevention and control. President Barrow emphasized that joining forces will help leverage the government's effort to tackle a growing cancer burden in order to make a greater impact on the lives of people with cancer. In March, President Barrow received WAHO Director General, Mr. Melkor, accompanied by the Honorable Minister for Health, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate. Welcoming the Director General, President Barrow emphasized that health is a right and working in collaboration in the sub-region is important in delivering services. The President further advised Dr. Melchor on strengthening sub-region arrangements for resource mobilization. He added that giving priority to health is important, especially at a time when health tourism is putting financial stress on the national economy and negatively contributing to inflation. Prioritizing health infrastructure in deprived communities is top on President Barrow's development agenda. In May, he embarked on an inauguration mission in 4 regions of rural Gambia. Here is his statement at the inauguration of 5 ultra-modern health facilities at Kiangjali, Tumana, Mankamankunda, Chize Majao, and Talikenye.
I am profoundly delighted to stand before you today as we mark a momentous occasion, the inauguration of the remarkable health facility, the first of its kind in this area, to the people of Jali, Kiang West, and the surrounding communities. Your decades-long aspiration for a health facility has finally come to fruition. This health center, which we proudly unveil today, is just one of the many initiatives my government spearheads nationwide. It is part of a broader commitment to elevate the standard of living for all Gambians and residents. Recognizing that a healthy population is the cornerstone of sustainable development. Our efforts in the health sector, as outlined in the National Development Plan, NDP, Year 2023-2027, are paramount. In line with our commitment to bolstering the health sector, my government, through strategic investment and partnerships, continue to revitalize, expand and upgrade existing health facilities nationwide, particularly in underserved areas, while constructing new ones with limited access. These state-of-the-art facilities, equipped with cutting-edge technology and amenities, symbolizes our dedication to providing quality healthcare services. From self-contained, air-conditioned delivery rooms to modern medical equipment procured with support from the World Bank, every aspect was planned to ensure comfort, dignity, and efficiency for our patients. Among the excellent features of these new health centers are the self-contained, air-conditioned delivery rooms. This will allow women in labor to deliver in dignity and comfort. With improved roads for referrals and access to water and electricity in health centers, we anticipate a further reduction in maternal and infant mortality rates in the Gambia.
On education, it was a thrilling day for both the university and the family of the late Vice President Badara Aliu Diouf, as His Excellency President Adama Barrow commissioned the newly inaugurated Lot 1 of the University of the Gambia, Faraba Banta campus, and named the library after the former vice. President Barrow expressed delight that the highest learning institution has a permanent campus which will focus on educational pursuit. Lot 1 comprises of 4 schools, namely Business and Public Administration, Arts and Science, Education, Information Technology and Communication, and a library facility which is expected to bring UTG closer to other universities and research institutions. The campus is estimated to accommodate over 3,500 students at the same time, while the library building has a capacity of 1,200 students.
After 24 years of existence, the UTG can boast of a permanent home. The bitter experience of moving around between rented halls and temporary classrooms or attending classes under trees is now history.
President Barrow further expressed the government's significant progress towards achieving the National Development Plan for tertiary education reform.
Given the urgent need to increase youth employment and fight poverty, the government has boldly embraced a robust transformation strategy for the higher education system.
In April, President Barrow graced the 16th Convocation ceremony of more than 1,000 students who have completed their studies in diploma, undergraduate, and postgraduate degree levels at the University of the Gambia. In his address at the Convocation ceremony, President Barrow congratulated the new graduates for their dedication, perseverance, and hard work, encouraging them to strive to become agents of change.
The country needs a lot more change agents armed with knowledge and skills to purposefully apply their agency to develop a result-oriented culture, a culture of noble service, hard work, discipline, and a high sense of responsibility to initiate positive change and track progress.
President Barrow further challenged and encouraged the graduates to a transformational journey, questioning who among them can promise to invent a life-changing device for humanity.
How many of you, the graduates, are determined to develop new business models or revolutionize agriculture to transform the Gambian economy? Remembering that with strong conviction, nothing is impossible. Fill your minds with such noble inspirations. The outcome could surprise you.
The President was honored to present special recognition awards of excellence to the best graduating students for their excellent higher education journey and outstanding achievements at the university. The Gambian leader launched the Skills, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Fund at Sadauda Kerabajawara Conference Center, marking a significant milestone in entrepreneurship and vocational training aimed at transforming the country's future. While officiating the launching of the SIE Fund, President Barrow said the Skills, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Fund aimed to address three pivot challenges that hover around the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem.
One is the shortage of financial resources to implement the desired improvement initiatives in our TVET institutions. The second is the absence of resources to provide TVET tuition for students who need skills and competencies to fit in the labor market. The third is insufficient capital to start and scale up businesses.
The project seeks to provide young people with the skills and economic opportunities they need by integrating them into the community.
The establishment of the SIE Fund is technically situated within my government tertiary and higher education transformation agenda. As detailed out in the 2023-2027 Recovery Focused National Development Plan, YIRWA, it has the prospect of increasing skill acquisition, employability, and job creation among Gambian youths and women.
On the State of the Nation, President Barrow addressed the National Assembly for the 8th time. In his last address, he gave an overview of the state of affairs in the country, reporting on the government's performance during 2023 policies, programs, legislative frameworks, and plans for the future.
National expansion of our development programs and unprecedented achievements in the provision of electricity, construction of roads, and access to clean water singled out my administration as evidently development-oriented. Gambians who never had the privilege of gaining access to electricity, education, healthcare, or water facilities of country now enjoy this right. All these together with the social protection program and other interventions that target the poor and vulnerable testify to our resolve to fight poverty and guarantee equitable distribution of the nation's resources.
In his concluding remarks, the President reaffirmed his administration commitment to advancing the country.
The address confirms that my administration's development orientation is visibly realistic, widely approved, and hugely far-reaching. The 5.3% economic growth and the positive remarks in the latest World Bank report clearly support these conclusions.
Let's now take a look at the promotion and decoration ceremony of the officers of the Gambia Armed Forces, which was presided over by His Excellency President Adama Barrow in his capacity as the Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces. 3 GAF members, namely Lieutenant General Mohamed O.A. Cham, Major General Usman Gomez, and Brigadier General Seth Njai, were decorated in March 2024. In May, 10 senior officers were promoted to the rank of colonel, decorated in recognition of their outstanding contributions and achievements to the nation. President Barrow expressed pride in the professionalism of the forces, where promotions are based on merit. He further encouraged the newly promoted officers to promote further innovative ways of rebranding the image of GAF.
As a noble national defense institution, using emerging technologies to your advantage.
Sadly, shortly after the promotions, the nation lost one of its finest officers, the State Guard Commander, Colonel Abdullah Mbub. His sudden death left the nation mourning. May his soul rest in peace. One of the critical roles of the president is that he is the chief diplomat in building relations with other countries and personalities. Now, under diplomacy and foreign policy, let's revisit his engagements in the field. The entrenched and long-lasting bonds of friendship has solidified the bilateral ties between the Gambia and Senegal, necessitating more vital collaboration, cooperation, and partnership. In April, His Excellency President Adama Barrow traveled to Senegal to witness the inauguration ceremony of President Bassirou Diomaye Faye. 2 weeks after his inauguration, President Faye arrived in the Gambia as part of his maiden state visit to strengthen the growing ties between the Gambia and Senegal. Upon the arrival of President Faye at State House, the two heads of state held a tete-a-tete meeting, following a bilateral meeting joint communique which highlighted their commitment to maintaining the established Presidential Council.
The two heads of states expressed great satisfaction with the status of the bilateral relationship between the Gambia and Senegal, and collectively buttressed the unique bonds between the two countries due to being inextricably linked by history, geography, culture, common development aspiration, etc., and commended the diverse efforts being made to further strengthen cooperation between the two countries in many sectors.
The Barrow administration has always been engaged in ways to strengthen the already existing sisterly ties between the Gambia and Senegal. Moving on, the Gambia is leading the way toward increased political and economic productivity that allow investment, trade, and entrepreneurship between the Gambia and other countries. During the past 6 months, dozens of new ambassadors and high commissioners presented their credentials to His Excellency President Adama Barrow. The diplomats from various friendly countries presented their letters of credence to the President, marking the beginning of their official tour of duty. President Barrow aims to build capacity and strengthen the health system through bilateral relations between the Gambia and their countries. Receiving the diplomats, President Barrow assured them of his government's readiness to expand the scope of the mutually benefited cooperation between our countries, particularly in responding to their shared aspiration of a global prosperous peace and stability.
The Gambia government, through the Recovery Focused National Development Plan, RFNDP, is most willing to collaborate with all countries and partners to yield mutually rewarding outcomes. Our policies and state institutions are oriented to ensure the realization of this goal.
Still on, His Excellency President Adama Barrow appeals for collective commitment to strengthen democracy at the Virtual Summit for Democracy under the theme Democracy for Future Generations, hosted by the President of the Republic of South Korea, His Excellency President Yoon Suk Yeol.
Democracy, the theme of the summit, provides a solid basis to build and establish the effective value systems we have committed ourselves for our progress and prosperity. Thus, the focus on democracy gives us the opportunity to redirect our commitment to promoting effective participatory governance. For us in the Gambia, democratic governance is a valuable means of creating sustainable peace, security, and development. As a result, my government is committed to preserving our democratic gains following the return of democratic governance to the country in 2016. Excellencies, recent political trends and challenges make it necessary for democratic societies to constantly create platforms to promote shared values. Such platforms should be driven by a strong determination to jointly address developments of common interests. Sensitive to this and being responsive to the aspirations of our people, the Gambia government allows for suitable platforms to fulfill our obligations. Excellencies, the continual transformation of the information technology landscape and the socio-economic trends that unfold have implications for the legitimacy of democratic governance. Spreading malicious content, for example, to incite sentiments against democratically elected governments and the credibility of state institutions is a global reality. To offset this, my government has expanded the regulatory space for easy access to credible information, and we accommodate dissenting voices and devise legitimate political participation. Unfortunately, in Africa, we now have to confront a troubling occurrence thought to have faded away. The rise in unconstitutional change of government is a major concern again. This makes the narrative on democratic governance exceedingly significant. As a member of the Peace and Security Council of the African Union, the Gambia will not relent in finding ways of curbing social political threats to peace and stability. Relatedly, therefore, it is essential that the positive impact of inter-civilizational dialogue and migration features in our discourse. Excellencies, the Gambia's development and democratic progress are inseparable. Accordingly, besides successfully holding credible national elections, a conducive environment exists that supports the pillars to sustain democratic governance. They include a free press.
In an increasingly interconnected and independent world, diplomacy and diplomatic courtesy are central to successful international relations. On a series of diplomatic engagement, UNDP also shared the Global Human Development Report 2024 with President Barrow and the plans to support the Gambia in empowering the youth. Another critical area the President engaged in was with the EU ambassador regarding its commitment to support President Barrow's government to enhance waste management and contribute to a healthy environment.
And on that note, we end today's edition of the President's Diary, brought to you by the Media and Communication Unit, Office of the President. My name is Mabinta Kuli, and on behalf of the production team, I thank you for joining us. Till we come your way again. Bye.
The President's Diary is brought to you by the Media and Communications Unit of the Office of the President. Get your reviews and updates on the President's engagements, policy and priority programs. Subscribe to the State House newsletter Like and follow the State House of the Gambia on Facebook at Presidency Gambia and follow the Twitter handle at presidency_GMB. If you are a fan of YouTube, subscribe to the State House of the Gambia YouTube channel and get your updates at your convenience. Get more on the OP website www.op.gov.gm. Get informed, get enlightened, get factual information. The Media and Communications Unit, Office of the President, is your credible source on the presidency.